You've been told New Jersey is bleeding people. Highest property taxes in the country. Everyone fleeing for Florida and the Carolinas. You've seen the headlines. Maybe you've said it yourself at a barbecue. Half joking, half serious, the way everyone in this state does. And here's the uncomfortable part. That's true. People really are leaving, but right alongside that exodus, Mercer, Middlesex, and Somerset counties are quietly adding tens of thousands of residents, building out billion-dollar life science campuses and rewriting housing law in a way that's about to rezone towns you've lived in your entire life. Both of those things are happening in the same three counties at the same time. Central Jersey isn't shrinking, it's not booming either. It's mutating, and if you own property here, rent here, or you're on the fence about moving here, what happens over the next 18 months changes your tax bill, your commute, your kid's school district, and honestly, who ends up living next door to you. Quick note on who I am. I track New Jersey real estate and development data so you don't have to dig through state PDFs and county reports yourself. Everything in this video comes from state labor data, government filings, licensed real estate board numbers, and reporting I fetched and checked myself. Not vibes, not comment section rumors, not somebody's cousin who heard something. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your property tax bill is climbing, why a mall near you might turn into apartments, why a biotech company just moved in from overseas, and why your own neighborhood's housing market might be doing something completely different from the county next door. Let's get into it. Let's start with the number that actually surprised me when I first pulled it. New Jersey overall added about 42,000 people between 2024 and 2025, and 20 out of the state's 21 counties gained population that year. Middlesex County alone now sits at 833,335 residents, according to the state's own Department of Labor and Workforce Development. Sit with that for a second because it cuts against basically everything you've heard about this state. Population growth isn't abstract either. It's why your school board is suddenly talking about redistricting lines that haven't moved in a decade, and why that new coffee shop on Main Street actually survived its first winter instead of closing by March. People are voting with their moving trucks, and a lot of them are voting for Central Jersey specifically. Here's the mechanism behind a huge amount of what you're about to hear. So stay with me on this one, even though it sounds bureaucratic. Thinking about relocating to New Jersey? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below, from top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part is, this guide's 100% free. That's right. You heard me right. 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. New Jersey just went through its biggest affordable housing compliance wave in the 50-year history of something called the Mount Laurel Doctrine, the legal principle that every town in the state has to provide its fair share of affordable housing, whether it wants to or not. A record 424 municipalities, 94% of the towns that opted into the process adopt fourth-round housing plans by the June 2025 deadline. And this isn't a law sitting quietly on paper somewhere. Towns across the state are actively turning old malls and office parks into housing right now. Princeton itself built its entire plan around reusing vacant office space near transit instead of paving over open land. And I want to make this concrete because housing policy can sound like nothing until it's happening on your block. In Evesham, a 4-decade-old office park is being converted into 325 apartments. In East Brunswick, the Brunswick Square Mall, the one you probably went to as a kid, is adding 60 affordable units as part of its development. Towns that don't comply lose their legal immunity from something called a builder's remedy lawsuit, which basically lets a developer bypass local zoning entirely and build high-density housing wherever they can find land. So if your town suddenly has a rezoning notice taped to a telephone pole or a dead mall getting a construction fence around it, this housing law is almost certainly why, and it's not going away. While the housing stock gets rewritten underneath everyone, the job base is getting rewritten right alongside it. Middlesex County's Helix campus in New Brunswick, 1.5 million square feet spread across 3 buildings, has gone from a rendering on a slideshow to an actual occupied building. In July 2026, Portal Innovations opened its New Jersey Innovation Hub inside Helix with 16 founding companies. 2 of them recruited internationally through the county's own outreach program. That's not a rumor about jobs coming someday. That's payroll landing in New Brunswick this year with real employees who need somewhere to live. Why does a hub like this pull in international talent instead of just setting up in Boston or San Diego? A lot of it comes down to the pipeline that's already sitting here. Many of the companies filling Helix trace straight back to research done at Rutgers, Princeton, and NJIT. If you're renting an apartment anywhere near that research campus right now, this is exactly the kind of employer base that keeps your rent climbing, even while the rest of the state is losing residents. Because these are the jobs that people are actually staying for. All of that demand has to show up somewhere, and it shows up in price. Statewide, the single-family median hit $600,000 in June 2026, up 3.4% year over year, even as inventory and new listings both improved compared to the year before. Read that twice. More homes hit the market, and prices still didn't cool off. That tells you how deep the demand runs here. If you've been waiting for the inventory rises, prices fall playbook to kick in, it hasn't, and there's no strong signal it's about to. If you're a seller, especially in one of the towns we just talked about that's picking up new life sciences jobs nearby, this is about as favorable a window as this market has handed anyone in years. Now, here's the part that actually stings, and probably the reason you clicked on this video in the first place. The average New Jersey property tax bill hit $10,570 in 2025, a 5% jump in a single year, more than double the state's own 2% legal cap. More than half of the money funds local schools. Put in real terms, on a $600,000 home, you could be looking at close to $900 a month in property taxes alone, before a single dollar goes towards your actual mortgage principal or interest. That's not a rounding error in somebody's budget. That's a second car payment, a semester of daycare, or the difference between affording this town and not. It's consistently the single biggest reason people give in every survey for why they finally decide to leave New Jersey for good. Which brings us to the contradiction almost every article about the state gets wrong. New Jersey topped the country in outbound migration for the 8th year running in 2025. 62% of tracked moves out of the state were people leaving, not arriving. But here's the detail that almost never makes the headline. 21% of the people moving into New Jersey were between 18 and 34 years old. So picture 2 U-Hauls passing each other on the turnpike. One's headed south, packed with a retired couple's furniture, chasing lower taxes and warmer winters. The other's headed north, packed with 26-year-old's first apartment worth of stuff, chasing a job at a place like Helix. Central Jersey isn't emptying out, it's turning over. If you're a landlord or an agent working this market, you are quite literally serving 2 completely different clients in the same zip code. Zoom into the county level data and it gets even stranger in a way that statewide headlines completely miss. In June 2026, Middlesex County's townhouse and condo new listings collapsed 61% year over year, dropping from 70 down to just 27. In that exact same month, right next door, Somerset County's townhouse and condo inventory grew 21%. Same region, same calendar month, completely opposite housing markets. That kind of swing changes your negotiating leverage entirely depending on which side of a county line you happen to be shopping on. If your only source of information is a statewide headline or a national real estate app, you are missing exactly what's happening on your own street. And that gap is where buyers and sellers leave real money on the table.
Hey guys, it's Jan. As much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more, and that's helping families and people from all over the US make the move here to New Jersey. I've helped countless families make the move. So whether you're coming out next week or next month or even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here on the screen and linked in the description in case you missed the on-screen pop-up. I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to New Jersey.
One more, and this one's easy to overlook if you're not in the market for it yourself. Mercer County's adult community closed sales jumped 93% in June 2026 alone, and 58% year to date. Somerset's adult community median price is up 15% for the year, and even though the June number by itself actually dropped 37%. Translation? The retirees who are staying in New Jersey rather than fleeing to Florida are pouring specifically into age-restricted 55 and up communities. They're not leaving the state. They're just done mowing a half-acre lawn. If you're a builder or an investor watching this space, that's a demand signal that isn't slowing down. And it's happening in exactly the counties we've been talking about this whole video. So go back to the opening claim. New Jersey is bleeding people. It's true. It's also, by itself, almost useless as a way to understand what's actually happening in Mercer, Middlesex, and Somerset County. The same three counties losing retirees to lower taxes are gaining young professionals, chasing biotech jobs. The same housing market posting record prices is also getting legally forced to build more affordable units than it has in 50 years. The same region where one county's condo inventory is collapsing, neighboring county where it's climbing. None of that fits in a single headline, and that's exactly why so many people get blindsided by it. So here's the version that's actually true, not the clickbait version. Central Jersey is growing in raw numbers. Population, jobs, closed sales. Why historic housing mandate and record property taxes reshape who lives here and how. People aren't leaving because the region is failing. They're leaving because it's expensive and they're being replaced by people chasing the jobs, showing up in New Brunswick and along Route 1. Both are true at once. It's changing shape right under your feet, whether you're ready for it or not. If you're weighing a move here, grab the relocation guide linked below. It breaks down property taxes, school districts, and commute times town by town, so you're not guessing with your family's future. If you want the full breakdown on what a fourth round housing plan actually means for your specific town, that video is linked right here. Watch that one next. And if there's a town you want me to dig into personally, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. See you on the next video.